Rebecca, what are you doing in this place?
Your right hand comes off?
You saved me!
Yeah.
Those zombies are everywhere. Not to mention that thing that got banned.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to Two Brothers, episode 50 something, and it is April, the April 3rd to 2023, and
why
we are live in my bedroom, and
this is one of the weirdest fucking intros you've done.
We'll cut that part. Okay, I just had to.
Do what? To be fucking retarded?
Yeah, for a second. All right, this is how it's gonna. Hold on.
Stop scratching your nuts.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Welcome to Two Brothers. Okay, now you can go ahead. And say what you want. Welcome to Two Brothers. I am Alberto, and this is
your boy.
Okay. I teed it up for you to say your name, and then
your boy, Ed. There you go.
That's fucking lame, man.
Yeah, it is.
And this is Two Brothers. Tonight. Oh fuck, man.
Just keep going.
God. Tonight we're gonna be reviewing another video game, and even though I said last time that Dead Space Remake was one of my favorite games of the year.
So yeah, I don't know. You spoke too soon. I predicted it in the last episode.
Now I have to retract that because we're going to talk about probably the best remake. I think honestly ever, if I'm thinking about it. Resident Evil 4 Remake. For people who don't know, Resident Evil 4 OG came out 2005, and it was the fucking
2004
hot shits. Okay, it was the hot shits.
Was it fun?
I don't know why I keep saying hot shits, and it just revolutionized fucking the survival horror genre, but it also revolutionized just how we fucking play video game. Like, you have Resident Evil 4 to thank for shit like Gears of War, for Uncharted, for Last of Us, for fucking Fortnite even. Like, it uses the same fucking, over the shoulder perspective and shit. All that to say, we didn't think that Capcom would do it. We didn't think they were going to do it justice. I mean, let's be honest. There was a little bit of doubt. I know both of us were like, okay, this is going to be awesome, but we were just like, well, what are they going to change? Especially after 3 Remake, we don't know where they're going to go. Like, are they going to go like Resident Evil 2 Remake? Is it going to be like Resident Evil 3 Remake? There were people who had concerns.
You were.
I was concerned because it was a fucking masterpiece. The original.
So was Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, and I'm sure people were just a little bit concerned too. But the difference is that Resident Evil 2 original came out in fucking 1990 whatever.
8.
And 1998, right?
Yeah.
And now with this one, 2005, people were like, well, it still holds up, it's still good. You can argue Resident Evil 2 OG. Some people were like, the tank controls or whatever. I'm not of that camp. I think both games are fucking great. But still. And then they came out. The game's been out for a few weeks now. All the fucking critics have reviewed it, but now it's our turn to talk about Resident Evil 4 Remake. So let's jump into it, man. First things first, I'm sorry for the people who have this on PlayStation 4, because it looks
good.
Well, I mean, it's okay. It looks alright. But it is a fucking beast on next-gen consoles. It looks fucking gorgeous. And I know it looks even better on PC, whatever, but it looks fucking great. We played it, or are still playing it, on both PS5, and I'm playing it on the Xbox as well. And just right off the bat, with the pros, graphics are fucking fantastic. But we were never really concerned about that. RE7 used the fucking RE engine, and that looked pretty good. And then from then on, like Capcom released all their fucking other Resident Evil games with the RE engine, and they looked fucking great. And then with RE4, it's just like, I think that's the peak, you know.
Yeah. What you're talking about graphics? Yeah, I would say it looks amazing. What it is like, what I like about the graphics that I noticed. I kind of fucking don't know how to explain stuff, but when you're getting towards the lake, the like the day shifts that wasn't in the game a lot in the original. You know, it was mostly daytime and the
it's just like day and then night.
Yeah, this
you
one
didn't no in between.
No
in between.
This one has in between.
Yeah,
which I
you
like
get to see the fucking sun setting, and
well, especially when you encounter what's his name, the Big Cheese.
Yeah, we just call him the Big Cheese.
Like in that room, you can like the fucking sun hits the room, like the sun's going down, like the reddish colors. Like this is great. Dude.
Yeah, when I stepped out of the house, I'm like, oh shit, like some time has passed. Like not a lot, but like you starting to see the sunset and everything. I was like, yeah, this is fucking cool. And then it turns into night. Like it's just everything looks fucking great. I had no problems with the rain. I know there was some issues with it, but they patched it, so it looks good. Even the fucking, I know that. Well, I wouldn't say it's a complaint really, but it does suck that there's no cool like reload animations. But it's still, you get to see the realistic like how.
Well, the thing is,
you know?
you don't. Yeah, there's no cool reloads, but. What is it when he checks his gun constantly? Like
he checks it,
which is kind of cool.
Does
I like that.
Tactical reloads and everything, and just seeing it up close, and all its fucking 4K resolution and shit. Like it's just, this is a fucking a beauty, for sure.
Wait, that's how we're gonna start this? I thought we were gonna start like gameplay wise or story.
We're gonna move on to that, but like that's the first thing that I want to like get that out of the way. It's a fucking stunner, dude. It looks good. And we'll get to the changes as we go along, but story remains the same. They have expanded some things with the remake, with like the lore and how it's sort of connected to the other remakes now, which is really cool. Like we found out how Luis is responsible for creating Nemesis, which is fucking cool.
That kind of that was like, oh my god,
it adds to his character too. You said that like it makes sense how he wants to redeem himself in this game, whereas in the original he's just like, oh, I fucking love something, and he leaves, and like there's no like real arc,
Well, it was hinted. I think even in the original he worked for.
Well, yeah, he worked for Umbrella,
but that was it, right?
That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. This one they delve deep into.
Like he created Nemesis. Cool. Know that,
and then the way things are kind of how it all plays out is a little different, but for the better. Like
what?
The whole talking to Ramon or like fucking Sadler through your walkie-talkie shit is gone. Yeah. They smartly use different ways for how they kind of speak to one another and shit. Sadler kind of like vicariously speaks through fucking through them with his mind palace and shit.
Yeah.
Ramon has these like fucking weird ass like speakers, like old ass speakers in his castle that he talks to Leon with. So shit like that, they kind of like tweaked it a little bit. And for fans of the original RE4, like you're gonna notice that. Like that's a not a huge change, but it is a change, noticeable change. So yeah, story remained the same. The voice acting is fantastic. There's still your cheesy one-liners from Leon. Probably more so in this game, I think, right?
No.
In the original, you don't think? Even in combat, like, he spews out one-liners. You don't think so?
He's mostly, like, fucking, like he's throwing out, like, you gotta be kidding me. Or, like, there's some more. Those type of lines. I think they took, there's, like, maybe 4 cheesy lines.
No, but he always, like, with Verdugo, like, I was doing his boss fight yesterday, like... Mm-hmm. He was fucking, clowning on like, oh, where are you hiding now? Like little shit like that. Like he's very,
not like so, not like. So well,
yeah, he's
there.
not out there. He's like, not. It's not out there like the original, but it's still intact. you know, some of the corny one-liners are still there.
Oh yeah, what does he say? Something about the bro line or something?
Oh, no thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Well, that's a trophy name now, which is cool.
Well,
It's called
yeah,
that.
that's cool, but that wasn't a liner. What was the other one?
Well, like when he kills the big cheese, like half of his body comes like, oh, I guess your tap dancing days are over. Like,
Oh, he says it in the
Yeah.
original.
no, in the remake.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's like, or like with Salazar, he's like, oh, be careful how you speak, my lord. How will people think of you? And it's like that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
there's more volume of one-liners in this one. That's what I noticed. You know. But anyways, getting off of that, the voice acting and the story. Unless you have something else to say, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what makes this a fucking great remake.
Talking about voice acting, everyone did great. But Ada's voice actress was not so great. It feels like she was not. I don't know. She didn't deliver it well when she was doing Ada, but that was it. I didn't go to the extent where how, people went to her Instagram and harassed her about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of fucked up that that happened. Like you were telling me how she did her research on Ada Wong and talked to the fans and all that stuff, and that came to me like, man, like I even felt bad fucking for her, just because it sounded like or looked like she was into the character. She was really into it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe I don't know what happened with her delivering her lines and all that, but it's not terrible, as people say. It's okay. You can tell it's not
Compared to everyone else, like,
Yeah.
she stands out.
She
Like,
stands out,
not,
yeah.
she's not the best. It wasn't the best performance.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean it's completely ruined. There's a lot of people thought, there's people who were like, oh, this is a fucking waste of my money on this shit, or it ruined it, and like it doesn't ruin it at all. Like she's
No.
in it for 15% of the game, like if that. So, like for people to complain about it, it's such a small critique.
Yeah, it's a small
you know?
critique, yeah. But like you're saying, but people going to the extent to harass her about it, it's like, dude, chill the fuck out, man.
Yeah, those guys aren't
You know?
Resident Evil fans, that's for sure.
Like, chill the fuck out.
And it sucks. It's not the first time it's happened in video games. It won't be the last, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
I just want to put that out. Like,
we move on.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully she's doing all right. Hopefully this doesn't make her want to like
quit.
video game voice
Because who
acting.
knows if Welcome to Raccoon City gets a sequel? She's the Ada.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
what they chose too. It's like, if they have faith in her, then I will.
Yeah,
too.
like you were telling, like if Capcom had faith in her, we should
Yeah, we
back
should too.
back that up. Like
It's one thing to express how you feel about her voice acting. You just said how you didn't like it, and that's totally fine. I didn't think it was amazing compared to like Resident Evil 2 Remake Ada, but to go to the extent to like harass her and everything, like that's just, come on, that has taken it too fucking far. But yeah, everyone in the game does a fucking great job. So no complaints there, except for like the small critique. But let's get into the gameplay. So you can fucking aim and move now. That's like, that's people were. I'm sure people were like, what are you talking about this day and age? But it's like RE4 was always just like you stop, you aim, and you shoot. This one, it took me a while to get used to when I started playing it. I think that's the first thing that I noticed was that it was an adjustment to get used to the combat.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
Especially the parrying. Like I don't think I parried until like, or learned how to do it right and did it until like maybe my second playthrough, because I always forgot that it was there, I didn't do it right.
No, you're right. Like maybe, yeah, my second playthrough, I'm starting to use it more. I slightly, did in my first playthrough, but you're accustomed to the original Resident Evil. You don't have
Yeah.
that, so you don't expect that, if that makes sense. Like that parry.
Yeah, to be so big,
Yeah.
like a big mechanic in the game. But I still love it. Like it's cool that it's there. You can
It's
deflect arrows, axes,
Like,
all that
it's,
shit.
it's a cool addition to it.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, you can
Yeah.
deflect all that, and it's cool once you like learn how to use it and remember that's there.
Yeah. Well, for sure. Like if people are gonna play through harder difficulties, that becomes like a fucking necessity. Like to have to parry. But yeah, so it took me a while to get used to it. Especially when I was playing the demo, it was just like, damn, this is so really like intense, just as intense as like the original ones. Like compared to the original, it's fucking leagues like more intense, right? But I like how Capcom was like, for this day and age, we can't just do it like they did back in 2005. Like more enemies on screen, the AI has to be fucking smarter. And you have to be quicker. You have to have quick reflexes. And all of those, like, as you play, you feel like you become more of a fucking badass once you start getting accustomed and comfortable with switching fucking pistols to shotguns. And that's also another thing, too. In OG RE4, you had to press pause, switch to your shotgun, go back, switch to your... Like, this one is, like, instantaneous.
Right. Yeah, wow. I did... See, you appreciate those little things,
right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like when I played, I'm gonna go just a little bit off track here, but like with Doom 2016, it felt very fast paced. But when they did Eternal and they added the mechanic of like the flamethrower, the grenade, all this other shit, in comparisons, like you just can't go back to Doom 2016. And I feel the same way with like 4, at least for right now. Like I can't go back to the OG.
Okay, now you brought it up. I was saying this question from the longest time for the podcast. Okay, so just like how Resident Evil 2 and let's put in 3 too, remake came out and added these new additions and all these new game mechanics and all that shit, right? You jumped back to Resident Evil 3 and 2 in the last couple months, the originals. Is it something like can you still go back to the originals knowing RE2 remake and 3 remake are superior in a way?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you could use the word superior with 3.
Shut up,
remake,
go.
right? But I still go back.
Yeah,
Dude, I can still play
they're
the
still
originals.
playable.
Yeah. It's because they play differently. You know, the OG has like the tank controls, has the backtracking. It's a lot more simple. It feels like retreating into like a nice fucking like cozy blanket when you play the original Resident Evil 2.
What about? You could go.
Remake is just wildly different. There's a whole bunch of other shit you have to kind of think about, but it makes it just as good as the OG. It's like it's on par.
Okay.
It, you know.
What about Resident Evil 4 original?
As of right now,
Can you go back and go? Like,
I don't know if I can go back. Like I kind of want to, just out of curiosity, but
we played that before the remake came out.
yeah, and it's still fucking good. Like
Yeah.
it still holds up for sure. The thing that I think Resident Evil 4 OG has is just the charm. You know, it feels very magical because of it. It came out at that time, and it's like you can't replicate that. And I feel like 4 remake captured the spirit of it, but it did its own thing. And I feel like there's no reason to feel like OG is now fucking just obsolete. You know, 4 OG will always be there for people who still want to play it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like I can't go back, and it's because of those little changes that they added, man. And that's not all that they changed. The fact that, like I say, you can switch to weapons on the fly, aim and move at the same time. The parry system is there. there are certain things that you can do that you couldn't do in the OG, like shoot the fucking bell in the beginning of the game to skip the village section, you know, or like how you can auto sort your inventory. Little shit like that seems like it may not be nothing to a lot of people, and that's why I feel like for newcomers who haven't played Resident Evil 4 OG, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a great game," but to us, it's gonna be like, "This is a fucking masterpiece," you know, because they fucking everything is here. Everything is here. They just expanded it, you know. There's new areas, where they kind of like they took out shit that was okay to take out. Whereas 3 Remake, you know, they took out the clock tower. A lot of people were upset about that because that was a huge chunk of the fucking game from the original. The whole Carlos section was changed. But like in here, they took out things that I was okay with them taking out, like the It boss fight. You know, nowhere to be found in this one. I'm okay with that. You know, and as a trade-off, they made it more difficult to go through the fucking island section because now you're having to go through more hordes of fucking enemies.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
And that's the thing too, is that like it wouldn't be Resident Evil 4 if it didn't still have the fucking annoying parts.
Yeah.
And there are some frustrating moments here, like the fact that you'll go through towards the end fighting all these enemies, and on top of that, here's the fucking bugs too, and it's like, for fuck's sake, this is too much. Especially on your first playthrough, you're like, fuck, man, because like they don't throw you fucking 80 handgun bullets like they would in the original. Like, you have to scrape to get by.
Yeah.
You have to really think about what you're going to use next.
For a moment there, when I was in that last part, I noticed that it was going to be a lot of enemies. Like fucking people with Gatling guns and all that shit. It's like, dude, this is going to take me a while, or I'm going to die a lot here.
Yep.
So I tried my best to just skip it through.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Because it's too fucking tough.
But it challenges you.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You have to. I like it because it feels like when you used to play games and there was like a trial and error thing. And this one, it's like, okay, I can't use my handgun. Let me switch to my rifle, or like I should use more of my fucking hand grenades, or maybe I'll start a little more stealthily, you know, thin out the herd. Then I'll use my, like, there's different ways to approach a situation in this game. But obviously, I think once you continue, like, repeat playthroughs, you're going to know, like, oh, if I throw a grenade here, I skip this part. If I do this, like, people are already figuring that shit out. And that's awesome, too. That's, like, that's what makes Resident Evil so fun, is, like, the replayability of the game.
Yeah, finding new ways. And
finding new ways to, like, deal with a certain enemy, or maybe, like, oh, this is a hidden way to fucking do this or that.
That's what I love about Resident Evil games. Like, yeah, it has a whole bunch of replayability.
Yeah.
like you say, you can do it that way, like new ways to find, to go to new locations, new ways to defeat bosses in an easier way.
Especially 4.
Fuck, I had something else. Or like getting S rankings. Like, it gives you an incentive to come back and play, you know?
Yeah, like in this one, there's an entire fucking, like, when you go to the results screen and you press square, it gives you the requirements for the ranks. Like, Capcom fucking knows you're gonna speed through this shit.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the requirements, like, oh, beat it under 5 hours. And I was like, that's fucking impossible. Like, my first playthrough was like 17 hours.
Mine was, around the same.
Yours is, like, around the same. And it's like, how the fuck, how can you go from 17 to 5?
Right.
But that's the intrigue. It's like, how can I fucking do it? Let me see how I can try to get it down to fucking 5 hours. You know, Resident Evil 7 was the same thing. I think our record time was like 2 hours and like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And originally you passed Resident Evil 4 in like 8. Like, that's fucking crazy, but that's what I love about these games, you know? And I just, like, I can see myself playing this shit for fucking months, you know?
Dude, that's what we did for the remake of 2, the remake of 3.
Yep. Maybe not as much 3, but, you know, because I don't think we passed it on Hardcore or Inferno.
Oh, no, because they make it fucking Nemesis, like, tougher or like no they rearrange key items around. So like
Yeah,
if you want to
see
go
that.
get like the hose to take out that fire,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be in that same location. It's gonna be somewhere else. That
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, at least with that one's like, yeah, I don't know about that one. But the rest, yeah.
Well,
yeah, we did that.
We
for all
didn't platinum 7 either because remember there's like an achievement to not open the.
I did that.
Oh, did you?
I did that. Yep.
How,
I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I did it.
Plus, they throw like even Resident Evil 2 had this how many steps to make.
I did that too.
Like that was weird too. Like Jesus.
Yeah, I remember 7 being like, I don't think you're not supposed to open it at all. I think you
That was
only can
another
only
one,
open
yeah.
it like 3 times and that's it.
Or don't open it at all.
Or don't open it at all. But
Or
like,
don't use any.
don't
health
use any
items
herbs
or something like that.
yeah, there was like a whole bunch of fucking crazy requirements.
But that's like you said, it's like
That's the
you were saying,
allure of the Resident Evil games.
or it gives you a challenge.
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And
so-
when I passed it, and I was like, oh, you can play New Game Plus. Can't get an S Plus rank though. I was like, you motherfuckers! Like you can't make it that easy.
that
can
deducts a point for me.
you?
It's a 9 now. I'm done.
Get your fucking stinky ass out of here then, okay? No one wants to hear you talk about 9 out of 10s, all right?
Yeah.
It's only masterpieces around here. That's what we should call this segment.
No, fuck
only
that.
masterpieces around
Now
here.
you remind me. Fuck that shit.
You just buttered because you fucking had faith in Callisto Protocol.
You did
That's
too.
why- yeah.
Why you keep bringing that
I
fucking
don't know.
game up?
Because I'm never going to let that shit go.
And you were into it too, bitch. Don't fucking act like you were fucking excited for it too.
Yeah, I was.
But no, that's deduct a point there.
Whatever. The other thing that came back is the shooting gallery. I can see people spending hours and fucking hours on this shit. And unlike the OG one where you just like do it for little fucking like figurines, in this one you get charms that actually help you in the game, which is fucking great. So it gives you an incentive to go and try out different challenges in the shooting gallery. And it's randomized too for each playthrough, so it's not like you're going to be getting the same ones every time. Yeah, dude, like that's fucking. Every time I saw the elevator, I was like, I'm going to spend about a
20
solid
minutes.
20, maybe half hour. People spend more on that shit.
Dude, when I'm doing my second playthrough, and I went to the shooting range the first time, well, you know what I'm talking about. Dude, I got all that. The first 3, I got S's right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which was like kind of surprising because it's kind of tough to like hit the like those skull coins on the on the shooting range
Yep.
thing. But I was like, I was even surprised. You know that the one with the TMP, that one's kind of like tricky.
That one's a little tricky to
I
get.
got that shit with the first try. I was surprised.
It took me a little bit to get to it. I had to focus and get that one.
So
But,
yeah, it's fun to like to get your S rankings or like
Mhm.
beat your own score. Yeah.
The other thing here that's changed is Ashley. Her AI is a lot more smarter. Well, I've seen a lot of TikToks of her getting fucking clotheslined by that one guy, but she's not completely smart. But you don't have to worry about her so much anymore. Like that was one of the things about RE4 original that kind of, I want to say, detracted from the experience, but having to like upgrade her health bar.
I know. Yeah.
It was a fucking thing. Especially if you played it like for the first time and you were like, okay, let me upgrade her health and then I'll do mines. But like now when I play RE4 OG, like I don't give a shit about, I don't fucking upgrade her health. Only if I ever, like, if I really need to. When in this one she gets incapacitated if she gets hit, and if you don't go help her she dies. But like there's no time limit on when you can go revive her. You can just do it when you can. Probably do it as quickly as you can. You can tell her to kind of fuck off, or tell her to hang around more closely. And her section 2 is changed. It's not like better or worse. It's kind of just different. And you can finish it probably around the same time frame as you would
As
the OG.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer, like a minute or two longer, but it really isn't that boring, I guess. And that's the other thing that I have to say is that they nail the fucking pacing of this game. Like after finishing 4 remake, I don't think I like Village as much anymore. And that's just because like 50% of the game is you running away from fucking enemies you can't kill, or having to look for fucking like little pieces for a puzzle. There's hardly ever that much action, and I get that it's not fucking RE4 remake, but it's supposed to be, right? Because it's like almost the exact same fucking premise, and the way it opens, you think you're gonna be in for a fucking like action like shooter and shit, but no, like RE Village has so much that fucking detracts from the experience. I think, like the castle is fun, but you hardly kill any enemies there. I feel like in total you kill maybe like 20. That's it. And then you go and you do the fucking the little mansion house. You don't kill any enemies there. And the first time it's like very scary, but then after repeat playthroughs, like it's fucking boring. And then you got the factory, and that shit's just straight up frustrating and annoying. And it's like RE4 remake, I can't think of one moment where it's boring or like, oh, okay, maybe I'll stop here because I don't want to go through this section. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep playing because all of it is fun, and even if it isn't as fun, it doesn't last that long. Most sections that detract from the experience, if at all, which I don't think it does, last at most about 6 minutes. Like how long does it take for you to go through that section in RE Village with the fucking house, the little mansion?
Which one?
In RE Village, the mansion, not the castle, the mansion.
The one with the dolls and shit?
Yeah. Takes you about like at most 15 minutes, maybe.
No, yeah.
12 minutes.
Something, yeah, around
If you really know what the fuck
yeah,
you're doing. But if you haven't played it as much, maybe it'll take you 20. That's 20 fucking, like, I know 20 minutes don't make much of a difference, but in RE games, that's like a fucking eternity, man. In RE4, OG, and in Remake, there are hardly ever any moments that feel like a dull moment. So, like that's fucking kudos to them, dude. Like, has some really good fucking pacing.
Yeah, I don't think the guys who are, I think it was, is it the same team? I don't think it's the same team.
It's the same team who did 2.
Talking about 8.
Oh, 8? So, yeah, I think
that's a different
did
team,
7.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think that team didn't think about, like, the replayability on, like, the levels. Because, yeah, you're right. Like, oh, fuck, man, I got to do the mansion again.
Like, how many times are you having to skip through the cutscenes in that game? Unless you really just want to see them.
Yeah.
You're skipping a lot of shit, man.
I just feel like, yeah, they didn't make it so replayable or enjoyable. Like, oh, here comes this part. I'm going to, yeah. Like how, like you were saying, how OG, like, oh, here comes my favorite part of the game or my favorite level. Yeah, you're right. Like,
Pat from Two Best Friends, he said that, I don't know where I heard him say this, but it's like every Resident Evil game has the problem where it's like the first 3 or 4 hours of the game are like the best part of the game, like when you're exploring the mansion in Resident Evil, and then after a while it starts to kind of like decline in fun, if that makes sense. Doesn't lose the fun factor, but you get me. RPD, best part. RE3, the city, is the best part. RE4, the village, is the best part. Same thing with 5, the fucking all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like that seems to be the problem sometimes with the Resident Evil games. It's that like after a while, once they start introducing like the last section, maybe the middle section, it just feels like, all right, this is where it starts to slow down. But in RE4 Remake, none of that happens. Like, Castle is fucking stellar. The island is fucking can be annoying, but it's still fun. The village, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just if you didn't already know what we would score this, it'd be a fucking 10 out of 10. You know, sometimes you look at a game like fucking Deathloop and you're like, there's no way this shit is a fucking masterpiece. I don't fucking trust any of these reviewers. And then when RE4 Remake came out and there was like 10s all across the board, I'm sure there were people who were like, there's no fucking way. But yeah, no, they're right. They got it right this time. It's a fucking 10. You know?
Yeah.
And the discussion now comes to like, is it gonna be nominated for Game of the Year? There's all these fucking people who are like,
my God.
it doesn't deserve to be a Game of the Year contender. Dude,
So
if
what
you don't fuck off with that shit.
So what is a Game of the Year contender, huh? What we just talked about checks all the fucking lists. It's replayable. It's fun. It gives you incentive to go back. It gives you challenges.
People, the biggest argument they make is like, well, it's not a new game, it's a remake. But it's like, it's an entirely new experience. Like, yeah, sure, there's some certain sections that feel familiar, but it's not a one-to-one fucking like remake. Even Dead Space remake, which I would argue is like a lot more similar to the fucking original, still feels like a fresh experience.
Yeah.
And it definitely deserves to be a fucking Game of the Year nomination. You know? It's like
so far, yeah, those two games are up there.
Up there, yeah, and Hi-Fi Rush too.
Oh yeah.
But it's like for people to say like it doesn't deserve to be a Game of the Year because it's a remake, it feels like you're just discrediting the team's fucking efforts of like making this fucking thing. You're telling me that these people don't deserve to be fucking applauded for all the hard work they put into this shit? Like, it definitely deserves a fucking nomination. And I hope it fucking wins so that people can shut the fuck up. You know, make it win twice. I don't give a shit.
No, it's just like I said, it checks all the boxes for being a contender, for being one of the best games so far.
Honestly, being one of the best games, period.
Yeah.
It's a fucking classic
Which
now.
is weird, yeah. They fucking nailed it in the head, man. Like, this is another classic, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to believe that it's already an instant classic.
Yeah.
It's only, 2-3 weeks that it came out?
Yeah, it's only been 3 weeks. And
Like,
people are just fucking... And who knows, I know that people are going to be like, well, Resident Evil 4 Remake was actually not a good game. And it's like, you fucking... we'll get to that when that fucking happens.
Look, just kind of the same way you were saying the Resident Evil 4 OG gave the blueprint and gave us all these games that we know so far, like Gears of War, Last of Us, all that. If it wasn't for the remake for Resident Evil 2 and 3,
We wouldn't have Dead Space.
we wouldn't have Dead Space. Even the fucking the team that did
Yeah.
the remake said, if it wasn't for them and seeing the success of the remakes,
We wouldn't attempt
yeah.
it. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 Remake would not happen without fucking Resident Evil 4 Remake.
4 remake? You mean 2 remake?
Yeah, right, yeah. Sorry, that. But now probably with RE4
Yeah.
Remake as well, like the expectations are fucking high. It's the same argument of like I don't know what I hate going back to this, but like, you know, I'm a huge fan of Doom, but it's like Doom 2016 reinvented the fucking series, and if it weren't for that, I'm not saying that they're connected or anything, but God of War 2018 would not happen. I mean, I know it was in production, but it's like those two games are examples of a franchise rebooting itself and going back to like to the fucking like, you know, like recreating itself.
Yeah.
You know, God of War did that. Doom 2016 did that. Are you gonna say they don't deserve to be Game of the Year nomination just because they're God of War? It's Doom. It's not Doom 6 or fucking God of War 4. It's only called God of War. It's fucking dumb, man. Like, as much as I love what they're doing with the new Zelda game, if I put a screenshot of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you wouldn't tell a fucking difference because they look exactly the fucking same. But it's gonna fucking blow people's minds, right? No one's complaining about that shit. I don't know. It's we can be ranting about that on another episode, but it's a fucking masterpiece in my opinion, and I hope this puts it out there for other developers to take a chance and remake some fucking masterpieces like Konami. Do fucking Metal Gear Solid 3. Don't fuck it up, but look at this as a template.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's possible. You can fucking do it. Capcom did it.
People want the fucking remakes. Who gives a shit? I want a remake of Silent Hill, Metal Gear.
Yep.
Fucking give me. I know it's a no-brainer. Resident Evil 5.
We talked about Dead Rising should get a fucking remake.
Dead Rising might get one. Who knows? You know, how do you say? I'm on this train of remakes. I
Yeah,
don't
like
care.
why the fuck not? Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Like fucking remake Batman Arkham Asylum now. That'd be fucking sweet.
Damn, that would be cool, huh?
And people wouldn't bitch about that, right? They'll be fucking giving a Game of the Year fucking nominations and shit. Yeah, dude, it's possible, dude. Like Capcom is not only are they the masters of fucking survival horror, now they're the masters of remakes.
Yeah.
RE1 remake, RE2 remake, RE3, RE4,
RE5.
RE5. It's like teased in the end.
Yeah.
What do you hope to expect from an RE5 remake? Because it's happening. I know it fucking is.
I think we talked about this. I said, I don't know. But I feel like they're going to do a clean slate with this one. And not like...
Not like 100%,
No, but
but
yeah.
like most of it I think will be
Yeah.
overhauled for sure.
Which I'm kind of more excited. Like you said, you're more excited to see what they're going to do with this one.
Yeah.
Because you already knew what they're going to do on RE4. So...
Yeah. It's an interesting situation now with RE5 because RE5 was not as highly regarded, so that's why I feel like I wonder what they're gonna do for a remake for a game that wasn't as like revered as 4, but we'll see.
Ever since its release of Resident Evil 5, since the release, okay, my mind hasn't changed of what I think about it. So, I'm hopefully they change it, make it better.
Yeah, because I mean, this is
You know?
RE5 has your favorite fucking character, so they have to, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you think they'll keep the fucking him punching a boulder though? Do you think they'll put that?
Or
in there?
the same way that they kept the fucking bingo line, they're gonna keep the boulder.
You think so?
But-
But it has to be as ridiculous as the fucking original. You can't make it serious like he's punching. It has to be fucking make it just as corny as it was before. You know? Yeah, RE5 is
We'll see.
fuck, man.
Like
Yeah.
I said, as we're speaking about it now, they're probably already working
They
on
probably
it.
were working on this shit while we were watching all the trailers for RE4.
Yeah,
they
that's
were
what I'm
already
saying.
fucking
They were
doing
probably-
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just not much else to say. I think we can go in depth. Dude. We can talk about the shit all
If
night.
you're a Resident Evil fan, get it. Survival horror, get it.
You haven't played it,
Get
but
it.
like the original, fucking get it. Be a part of the hype train,
Yeah.
man. I know a certain creator out there. I'm just kidding. Maurice was supposed to do a playthrough of 4. Hopefully he's okay with me saying this. He was supposed to do a playthrough of the OG 4. He skipped out on it because he wants to wait for the remake.
Nope.
But for him who's listening, go fucking play it too. I know he will because he's gonna do it for the channel. But yeah, like, dude, it's
Play
a
the
fucking.
OG.
And if you are gonna play the OG, do the. I'm not talking about Maurice. I'm just talking about anyone in general. Play the fucking HD project. I want to play that one.
HD
For-
Project. Did you say that?
Yeah,
HD Project?
yeah.
What do you mean?
The fucking one for PC, you moron.
That's what it's called?
Yes. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah.
Which one am I referring to? I don't know. I'm
The
just
fucking guy
curious.
that created the high definition fucking graphics
Oh,
for
great.
it.
You know words, Eder. Cool.
Fucking
great.
dickhead.
Fucking bitch.
You want to shut the fuck up about it. That's how I still
What do you
remember.
mean I
These
was talking
guys
about?
created it and it was amazing. And you saw a fucking documentary on it and it's like, so yeah, I know.
What are you talking about? A documentary?
Yeah, you saw a video that they covered it. Like there was one guy who created it. It's a mod.
Oh, get off your fucking high horse, you bitch! You talk like you're not gonna fucking play it if you had a chance.
No, I like how it is now. I'm not gonna go through all that.
All right, you fucking old fart. Thank you guys for listening to our review of RE4 Remake.
Mm-hmm.
You could have listened to anyone else talk about RE4 Remake, and you decided let's listen to these two bozos, and that's great. Thank you for that. I didn't say this at the top of the. Can you fucking stop? I can hear that in the headphones. You gotta slow it. I didn't say this at the top of the podcast, but please like and subscribe. There's a whole plethora of other episodes. If you have not, if this is your first time listening to Two Brothers, go follow us on our social. There's only one. Oh no, shit. There's two. Facebook and Instagram. It's called Two Bros on Instagram. And yeah, this is the game of the year so far. I acknowledge Resident Evil 4. Acknowledge me, like Roman Reigns. Acknowledge the HD project.
For fuck's sake.
But acknowledge the HD project, and we will be returning again with another episode. Fuck, we should talk about John Wick or another one or something. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Here's the review for John Wick. It was great. Go watch it.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Acknowledge John Wick.
Two Brothers.
John
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a
Wick.
10 out of 10.